Good morning, PayProTech Nation, High Five Nation. We're back at the High Five. A little bit later, had a little, get everybody getting in a groove on a Monday morning, trying to get things going. But today we are going to be talking, and over the next several weeks through the PayProTech world, we're going to be talking what I am calling the big three. We've got three big products that we think you should pay attention to. And I'm going to be talking about those and interacting those with the best guys in payments right here. Mr. Brian Linke. How are you, Brian? How are you, sir?
I'm great, Nate. Monday morning, big week. Big week this week. It's the last full week of the month. So got to get out there. I mean, if you're going to work, this is the week to be working, because next week it's probably going to slow down a little bit, although not for me. But, yeah, so this is the last big week of the month.
Yep.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. And then on the left-hand side of your screen, coming up on the full screen from Glenwood Springs, Colorado. Well, he was at a football game yesterday. I don't know if he wants to talk about it. Mr. Danny Shard, how are you, Danny?
It was a tough game yesterday in Broncos country, but we're good. It's a beautiful Monday morning. The elk were out, and like Brian said, it's the last full week before we get into the Thanksgiving holiday. So I'm excited for it.
Well, now we're already starting to, because when I was writing up things for this morning and working on an email we're sending out either late this afternoon or first thing in the morning, we're starting to look toward 2022, because the work we're doing right now, a lot of the merchants, even today, if you start the process and build the relationship, you're probably going to get them started in early 2022, and we're starting to think through things like that. How do you guys balance making sure you live in the present, be in the now, Ram Dass, kind of do that, but also realizing we need to start, we're a different change of pace a little bit for the next 6 weeks and get ready for 2022. How do you balance making sure you're seizing all the opportunity that is in front of you right now and also planning for that next big kind of jump when we go into the first quarter of 2022?
Well, I can tell you how I balance it. I look at the calendar. I see it's the 15th, which is residual day. Makes me smile. And I'm so balanced that I want residual day in December to be as good as or better than November. So that balances me. I'm balanced.
Yes. All right.
I am so. Believe me, I'm standing on one foot. I'm so balanced.
He is. He's living the dream there in Warsaw, Indiana. All
exactly
balanced.
Right. Today. Okay. If you can't get excited about residual day, then what are we doing here?
It's days like today. That's why we do what we do. It's for the residual.
Absolutely.
For our partners. Absolutely.
Believe me, first thing, believe me, I roll over, I look for my glasses, can't find them, and I'm trying to find my thing to make sure the money's in there. It's a beautiful thing.
All right, but there is also some planning that you need to do. So he's figuring out, Brian stays focused month to month. He's just making sure the residual is going on. We're trying to give you some things that if you learn some things right now, start planning, getting yourself trained, getting yourself ready, you're going to have an incredible first quarter of 2022, because if you don't plan now, you're not going to be ready, because others are going to pass you by.
Got to plant the seed. Got to plant the seeds, Nate.
Yeah,
plant the seeds.
Yep. So, Danny, I'm going to throw it to you, because I'm going to throw out the three, what I call the big three here, and then we're going to really focus on one, but all three will be having highlights in the High Five over the next couple of weeks. Plus, we're going to have special webinars that you guys can attend. But we are really focusing on three things. 6POS, which we're going to talk about here just in a moment. We're talking about ChargeZoom, one of the beta software partners we have that really integrates in the best way ever with QuickBooks and others, different financial software, but it's really focused on those people that are living and dying by sending out those invoices and getting those invoices paid. And then lastly, BigCommerce. All three of these products are directly integrated to EPX. Makes life very easy. There's simple ways to put it into. But let's take it back to 6POS. One of the things that's happened in our world is we've had a hard time finding, a simple POS that's right for small retail. Danny, we've been starting to learn a little more about 6POS over the last, brought to us by Retail Cloud over the last couple of weeks, and kind of planning and launching a new product and new service with them. What do you think 6POS meets a need for our partners, for something special for them to be involved with and learn to make this just another great start to 2022?
Yeah, I think it's something about PayProTech that every one of you know, whether you're just getting started with us or if you're a PayProTech veteran, is that we're all about variety, right? And there's so many different solutions out there and so many different needs of a merchant. There's a lot of systems that can be overkill for merchants, and there's a lot of systems that could be, close to what they need, but maybe just not quite a good enough solution for them. And that's really what we're trying to find out. And the 6 POS, I think, really fits that mold of a middle of the road, a little bit better than Pay Anywhere as far as robust, number of SKUs, barcode scanning, things like that. But like you just said, Nate, it's a good fit for a lower to mid-level retail merchant, right? So we were finding where Pay Anywhere, that's really the type of merchant it was designed for, but there's a few key features that it just didn't have. And then there was a significant upgrade into a retail cloud point of sale system, right? So you had a big gap there to fill when merchants didn't need all the bells and whistles of a full retail cloud POS, but they needed a little bit more than Pay Anywhere, and that's what 6 POS is going to be for us.
Well, and it brings us something that you have online ordering, you have, which we don't have on the Pay Anywhere capabilities. You're going to get Edge all mixed right in there. You're getting a very robust inventory system. You're getting lots of features where you're able to, have all kinds of reporting and inventory pieces that are not available currently on the Pay Anywhere system, and get you in the door, but also in a simple PAX hardware piece. So one of the things we're doing is we're saying, look, this is a great piece for you to roll out, but we also want to make sure you know who it's for and who it's not for. Brian, for you, how often do you hear partners when they sell a product that is the wrong product for the merchant? How often are they able to capture and still keep that merchant when they put the wrong piece of hardware in there to begin with?
Well, I mean, that's a tough one, because the thing about it is, if you're using the POS Pros team down in Indianapolis, you should really get yourself into that situation. I wouldn't think too much. But if you do, I mean, I think honesty with your merchant, and our POS guys are gonna step in there and help you out. I think this POSlead.com thing has been I think just a lifesaver for all of us. Would you agree, Dan?
Danny has muted himself, so I will.
I sneezed and forgot to unmute. Thank you. Yeah, I would absolutely agree, Bri. And that's the whole point of the POS Pros department, is to help identify those solutions. But if you're trying to put solutions in place of a merchant that you think is the best fit, make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's. Ask all the right questions. If you put the wrong solution in, Nate, the answer is you're always going to lose that merchant, right? You've got to find the right solution for them and make sure you're covering all the bases that the merchant needs.
Yep. Well, and if you know what the product is and make sure they understand all the features that they're getting, you set those expectations. You're setting yourself. If they make the decision and say, no, I don't need that, and then they say, then you're fine. But if you say, hey, this does this meets all your needs, and it doesn't, it's really hard to gain that trust back. It may be but I would guess 50 to 75% of the time, you're going to lose that merchant, lose that opportunity. We want to make sure you sell these products in the right time. And so like with this new 6 POS, one of the things we're asking you to do, because we're going to be rolling out a specific, and I'm going to ask Danny to give us a little bit of what we're doing with this, but we're rolling out a placement deal with 6 POS, the hardware, the software, everything all bundled together, 24, or not 24, but I think it's 18 hours phone support, 24/7 chat support, some new features that are really wonderful for the merchant to have. But we're wanting to make sure you know who it's for and who it's not for. So we're going to ask you to be able to sell this as a free placement. We're going to ask you to go sit through a training. Danny, what are some of the things, why should they look at 6 POS? What are some of the things we're doing in this program that they may want to pay attention to that will incentivize them that this is a good product to learn more about and learn what are the right merchants?
Yeah. I think one of the cool things about 6 POS that we're going to have available demos for all of you partners, so you really know the target market is. And I think that's where it's been a challenge for us in a lot of ways with the different variety of POS systems, is specifically what types of merchants is this going to be a good fit for? Now, granted, that's still somewhat of a vague question because each merchant might run their business a little bit differently. But the fact that you're going to be armed with some of that information and know the high-level bells and whistles, we're not going to ask you to go through a grueling, 6-hour training session on all the different features and have to know what those are. But you're going to know the high-level basic points, and so you can properly sell it to the right merchants. And it's going to be a placement program. So currently with our POS Pros department, you've got a placement credit for all merchants that are doing over 20,000 on the cash discount program. They get a $12.99 credit for every 20,000 they do for all of our point of sales options or point of sale options. With this 6 POS, it's going to fit a target market, and some merchants that might not be at that 20,000 mark, some merchants that might be well over that, but we wanted to make this a little bit more able to cater to some of those lower level merchants that aren't doing 20K and still give you the ability to offer a free placement. So on this POS specifically, any merchant doing the cash discount program over 10,000 in monthly volume is going to qualify for the POS credit for the 6 POS. So it's going to give you that. It's huge. It's going to give you the ability to go after these lower level merchants with a solution that's a little bit more robust than Pay Anywhere, and give them some more inventory control, give them some of the online ordering capabilities, and being one of Retail Cloud's POS systems, the phone support's going to be included. That's huge for us. So it's going to give you a solution that's going to compete or be a little bit better than Pay Anywhere in a lot of ways, and make it a lot stickier for those clients because it's going to get them everything that they need.
Dan, are the E700s, the Pay Anywhere E700, they're still back ordered, right?
The E700 is still back ordered. Retail Cloud actually has a bulk of the 500s available for us for this solution specifically right now.
Right. Just wanted to make sure we let everybody know that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and this is us making sure. Yeah, and we're going to make sure you know what hardware is it covered, which is available, and some of it is. We know that there's a large amount of the 500s that are available, so we're including that right up the front. There are other hardware that, if they're available, you can put it on. But we know we're ready with a bunch of the E500s, ready to roll this out, ready to put all kinds of things, because you're going to be able to do basic customer feedback and time and attendance and inventory management. I'm looking at the list right now. You can do margin management, which, taxable items through multiple different tax supports, being able to do tax exempts, a lot of things that are not available on Pay Anywhere, but you're going to be able to offer that at a similar price or less of the same price that you've been offering Pay Anywhere, and get them into a system that we believe will last for a very long time for most of these merchants, as long as you know the right merchants. So watch for an email. We're going to be having a series of webinars over the next 3 weeks where you can sign up. You just have to attend one. Eventually, after we get a couple of them done, we'll record one and we'll have a way that you can watch it. But you have to watch the webinar in order to be part of this program, because we're going to put a special link right at POSlead.com where you say, hey, I think this is part of this is perfect for the 6 POS promotion, so that POS Pros team can help you, but they know, hey, you have already been through all this training. You are already taking a couple more steps to know that this is the right place for 6 POS. Danny, lastly, one of the things we try to do is make sure that this is compensated in the same ways as we do. And so we're going to do this promotion through the end of February, and we may roll it for longer, but we know we're committing through the end of February to be able to, not only are you able to do this placement deal for $10,000 or plus merchants who are on the Edge program, but on top of that, you're going to get an additional bonus. And I think that's a really good deal.
Yeah. I mean, our goal is to make it the same up front as you would have gotten with a Pay Anywhere solution. So we often find that, as we all know, Pay Anywhere is a good fit for certain types of merchants. And a lot of times I think all of us as salespeople who, if your revenue is based on compensation, right? So of course you want to find the right solution for a merchant, but it can also be difficult, we understand that, to put a merchant in a system that isn't going to maximize your revenue, right? So we often see, and I think it's natural, but it's going to happen. We often see where merchants are being set up with Pay Anywhere, and it's just not enough of a solution for them, or for whatever reason, it's not going to do everything that they need as a business, and 9 times out of 10, the account ends up canceling or moving to a different system. Bonuses get bought back, things get changed, and it's just not an ideal situation for the merchant and for the sales partner, because your compensation changes. So specifically with 6 POS, it kind of being a solution for a target vertical, we're going to be doing a $300 promotion on top of your standard EPX promotion or EPX bonus. So on these accounts, since they're not going to be pay anywhere, you're going to get a standard bonus of 300 on EPX. We're going to throw in another 300 to you to make this same bonus the same as pay anywhere. We want you to try the system. We want you to get it in the market. We want you to get it in front of merchants and see really how it works and the type of response that you get from your merchants, so you can build confidence and have another solution that's going to cater to these types of merchants that need a little bit more than pay anywhere.
Basically, what this is the fact that, obviously we're listening, right? I mean, so it's right in the middle of some of these bigger, robust point of sale systems. Like you said, Dan, like the pay anywhere may not be enough, especially with the
Right.
E700 being back ordered, and so this is again, this is just another way. And of course, we had to make sure we matched the bonus, because if we didn't, it'd be World War III. So we did that, and it's just another way for our partners to make some money.
And what really, you'll get this when you sit with Robert and our team for the training, but really where this sets apart in Pay Anywhere, this has loyalty and promotions, it has online ordering, and on top of that, it has complete gift card integration right off the bat. And those are three things that Pay Anywhere does not have. And a lot of times merchants, and you're either side saddling, putting another piece of product or something in there to do it, you're trying to work. This is all integrated right into that piece, and I think it'll be a great solution. And even for those who are starting selling now, being part of 6POS, and maybe someone's wanting, hey, their gift card system is breaking down and people are wanting to buy gift cards and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. Now is the time, because gift cards are going to be a major push for the next 8 weeks, especially when people start realizing in December. I think gift cards are going to be huge, because there's plenty of plastic available to print new gift cards. There may not be the toys available to actually supply the toys or the other products that we have. So gift cards are going to be huge in December. I think this is one place where we already have an integrated gift card, and Pay Anywhere doesn't have that piece at this point. So I know it's coming, but it's not available yet. So this is an opportunity for you to be involved. Now let's talk about the other two. We're not going to highlight all that much, but it gets you in the B2B space and the e-commerce space. Brian, I know that I'm throwing this at you. I didn't say I was going to do this, but I mean, being in and learning how to sell, how do you think, and how important is e-commerce, being able to buy online? We just said retail, or 6POS through Retail Cloud already has that. How important is being able to sell online in this day and age?
Well, I think again, you're talking to an old school guy, so it hurts me to even say this, but I just think that that's where everything is going, right? And the more and more I'm talking to partners, it's something that we're definitely going to have to get used to, because it's here, it's now, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I know for the people that are listening out there, they're all probably nodding their heads yes. So this is, again, just another bullet in the gun.
It is, and I'm, because now with BigCommerce, you're going to have online ordering with things like Retail Cloud, but with BigCommerce, you have a full stack. I think actually the best software. I've been looking at it head to head with several of the other softwares, with Shopify, with WooCommerce, some of the other big players, with Magento and things like that. BigCommerce is directly integrated in DPX. It has support, it has service, it has so many features. It is ready to help the biggest of stores be fully e-commerce. And I think that's something we haven't had that's easy for us, and so it's something important to learn. So when you get this email, if you're watching this after Monday, if you're watching this live, I think there's about 60 of you that I've noticed that are watching live at our different places. Later this afternoon or tomorrow morning, you're going to get an email with all this about 6POS, but you're also going to get a link to a special training that I recorded last week just on BigCommerce. It's about 30 minutes of information on BigCommerce. I encourage you, sit down and learn about that, because it's something you can walk in. This is a publicly traded company that has over 100,000 businesses already using it for their e-commerce solutions, some of the biggest names out there. And I think it's a great way for you to walk in and say, look, I integrate directly. There's no gateway fees. There's no added transaction fees. I can work directly with this. And on top of that, I can take care of your brick and mortar solutions too. Danny, that's a good thing when you can say, hey, I have the best of software and the best of hardware. That's a perfect mix, right?
It gets you out. I mean, yes. I mean, you're standing apart from the competition that's out there. Not every sales or merchant level salesperson that's out there talking to these businesses can have a variety like that. We were talking to Jay and Maria last week. Jay, if you're listening, This is definitely a solution for a couple of the merchants that you're working with because it's an all-in-one e-commerce and helps them really get set up to take payments on their website in the way that they need it to be set up. And this kind of gives you the full package, right? Not every MLS has that. But you got to learn it, right? Understand it. You don't have to be an expert. Like myself and like Brian, we are not the most technical savvy people out there, but we know enough to be dangerous and start these conversations, and you can do this. So.
Do we just give a shout out to Q Merchants on the high five?
Little Q Merchant shout out.
There we go.
All right.
Hey.
All right.
So make sure you understand BigCommerce, and then later this week also we have an introduction to ChargeZoom. So important to be introduction to ChargeZoom because B2B payments, like we've been talking about, is extremely important. Those are the big three: 6POS, BigCommerce, and ChargeZoom. If you learn those three, Danny, I believe this really full-heartedly. If you learn those three, learn where 6POS is the best fit, learn how to place BigCommerce and tell others about it, because they'll do the onboarding. You just have to be able to get the pitch going. It's just kind of like working with POS Pros. They're going to help you with the onboarding piece and help those merchants get their products on there. There's a huge ideas that we have, and we're working on that with that. And then with ChargeZoom, if you work on just those three, you're going to open up huge amounts of opportunity as we move into 2022, right?
Well, yeah, I think it's always nice to be able to talk about something else, right? Something new, right? Be able to walk in and say, "Hey, right." I mean, that's the thing is that we've got the pay anywhere, and that's a great fit for a lot of merchants. And then we've got into hot sauce and paradise and those kinds of point of sale systems. But I think coming in with these three, and Nate, we're getting the email link is going out when today?
It'll go at the earliest later this afternoon, for sure by tomorrow morning. Depends. I've got to get all these webinars all linked up, so there's a little bit of work to do this afternoon. But it's coming within the next 24 hours.
So even like your merchants that are processing with you now, I mean, even just to go back in there and say, hey, you know what, we've got these these new products, some of these new things for you to look at. It's just always nice. It's just another thing to talk about.
It is.
Okay, now you're stealing the things that I was going to say, and I don't appreciate that.
Dan, here's the thing. There's only so much that I can say, so sorry.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head, though, man. I mean, and I think that's something that we often forget about, right? We set up a merchant. They're happy. We might check on them every now and then, but we don't do enough to continue evolving and improving what they've got. We've already got them set up. They've got processing. Maybe they've got a basic terminal. Maybe they got a POS system. But are you continuing to evolve and enhance on what the merchant currently has to strengthen your relationship with that merchant and strengthen the business that they do with us and hopefully make them more efficient or improve on what they've got already? And so reaching out to your current merchants about things like this too is important. And now in this time of year, it's an odd time in sales, right? People want to start looking at what's available to improve on their business next year. So talking about new systems and things like that is really important. There's a lot of merchants that just don't want to make a change, but having those conversations right now is really important. So it's also an opportunity for you as a partner to learn, right? Get involved, absorb a lot of this information so you can really take that in 2022 and even closing some of the deals here to end the year.
That is important. All right, let's close out. We get a little music going here as we close. We've got one more Monday before we hit the Thanksgiving break, and we've got a lot going on. A lot of work to do. A lot of things that we can get moving on. We've got a lot of merchants that we need to meet with. A lot of things that we need to learn so we can meet with new merchants and new types of merchants. But Brian Linke, what do you say to our partners? We're 10 days out from Thanksgiving. What can they do just to continue growing and continue expanding their business?
Well, again, this is a tricky time of year. There's no doubt about it, right? I mean, this is the last full week of November. So, yeah, I mean, you just have to, sales is a tough job, right? But it's also very rewarding, and it makes you feel good about yourself. So just get, all I can say is get out there and talk to people and look for the email from Nate, and let's just keep it rolling.
Let's do it. And Danny Shard, what do we say as we're getting ready? 10 days. 10 days Thanksgiving.
It's coming up really fast. In my household, I've got a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, and my 4-year-old is all about Christmas already. So it's, my mind is already in December. This weekend, my wife and I are doing Christmas shopping. I mean, it's crazy. Like, it's coming up quick. and it's it's an opportunity for all of us. So take advantage of some of the information we're putting out there. But one more week, and then you're into holiday season full bore. So let us know how we can help you take advantage.
Dan, you're gonna be like you're one of those guys that like holds hands with your wife like in the mall, aren't you?
Yeah. All four of us all together in a line.
A romantic. You're very romantic.
The same clothes, same outfits in the holiday photos, that kind of thing.
I like that.
I know you were there about 40 years ago, Bryce. So it's
no, actually I was never
something
there,
that you
but
might not
okay.
remember.
I know. Hey, all right. On that, ladies and gentlemen, we say high five, everybody. Thank you very much, and